Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of the Carry On with Carrie podcast. Today, I would like to introduce you to Rhanda Bonet-Graham. She is the Director of Fund Development for the Terra Centre. Terra Centre, their mission statement is empowering teen parents to succeed. Terra is a nonprofit organization, and they are helping pregnant and parenting teens develop the self-reliance and skills to be successful parents. Hi, Rhanda. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Carrie?
I'm really good, and I'm excited for you to be here.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here too.
Yeah, it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's the empowerment for young teen moms and parents. Can you explain a little bit about Terra and where you're coming from?
Absolutely. I've only been at Terra just a little bit over a year, but I was very drawn to working there because it is a fantastic organization that does such important work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just, when you think about it, it's not just work with young parents who are possibly overwhelmed, who are possibly going through mental health challenges, possibly haven't had great role models in their lives, or are living in instability or crisis, but it's their children also. And so the opportunity to work with parents, help them with understanding that with the right resources, the right support, and the right information, they can, in fact, make a better life for themselves and a better life for their children. And in many instances, this is a way to break generational trauma.
Absolutely.
And to benefit the entire family so that people are realizing their potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what really drew me to working at Terra. The opportunity to work at that level of making a difference.
Mm-hmm. And yes, exactly. And at such a young age for these young ladies and the guys involved too. And
yes,
I say that because, oftentimes they're kind of out of the equation. We don't often think of that side of it, right? So
yes, and I'm proud to say that Terra is the only organization that offers a young dads program.
Oh, they do. Okay.
They offer, this is a Services for Young Dads is a newish program that we've been offering for a few years' time. And it focuses on helping dads formulate meaningful relationships with their children, while also addressing some of the things that are challenges ahead of them that would prevent them from having meaningful relationships with their children. Lack of employment opportunities, lack of opportunity to finish education, like high school education, some legal issues, etc. So I'm very proud that we are also supporting dads to give them an opportunity to learn how to be a meaningful part of their child's life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, and giving them both the skills to, to move forward with it and all the challenges that come with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And you are a nonprofit organization.
Yes, we are.
Right?
We're a registered nonprofit. That's correct.
Okay. So that must come with its own challenges as well.
Oh, the nonprofit sector as a whole has a big job. We are tasked with solving some of the most complex social problems around, and social and environmental problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not an easy task, and it would be a big mistake to think that the nonprofit sector can do this work alone. It really does take an entire community of individuals, community members, donors, government funding, which we are very fortunate to have along with other sister agencies, as well as involvement by the corporate world. Pulling together is the only way we will solve some of these complex social problems, such as poverty, homelessness, substance use disorders, mental health problems. These are life-changing events and causes that we all need to pull together to solve. And the sector cannot do it alone without support from everyone.
Yes, on every level.
On every level, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the program and what ages, what can they expect and experience from Terra when they're coming through? It's a scary time.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so Terra Centre has been part of the community of Edmonton for over 50 years. It started in the 70s, early 70s, with a young mom who didn't feel that she should have to stop her high school education just because she became pregnant. And so she, along with a few other moms, they found a way to convince the city to give them a place to reside together, hired a social worker, and managed to find child minding. And they completed their high school degrees through correspondence.
Right.
And so that became the root or the foundation for what is now the Terra Centre. Terra Centre works with pregnant and parenting teens, mothers and fathers, and the children as well. And what we provide is wraparound services and programs in a free, non-judgmental, supportive way to help teen parents and their children realize their potential to succeed, to heal, to move forward with their lives, and to feel that they have the opportunity to seek a brighter future. That takes many forms at Terra. We offer programs in high school completion. We have a partnership with the Edmonton Public School Board where we offer support and a family and child support center inside Braemar School.
Okay.
And so Edmonton Public provides the teachers and the administration, and we provide social workers, youth workers, caseworkers, as well as fully licensed level 3 early childhood educators to care for the children and to support the moms. And so that's a high school completion program, which is the how Terra started in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And is the childcare available right on site
in the
school?
In the school. And so the moms are able to nurse and pump and visit their children all throughout the school day.
Wow.
And this enables them, of course, to complete their high school education and go on to further things. Also offered through Braemar is youth leadership programming for these moms. And so the opportunity to speak publicly, the opportunity to participate in a program called Peers Educating Peers, where they go to other high schools and they talk about the realities of being a teen parent.
Yes.
And so that's a really important way for them to gain some communication skills, some leadership skills, feel comfortable and own their voice, right?
Exactly. Right off the bat,
Yeah.
right? I remember that's actually how I learned about Terra years
Right.
and years ago.
Yes.
Was in my high school, and there was 3 girls that came and spoke to the school. And I just remember feeling, thinking to myself how much courage that took and how strong they were.
Yes, absolutely. And in a society where there is still quite a bit of social stigma about young people having children, and a lack of support in that way, it does take a lot of courage to talk about this is the choice we made to be parents and the commitment we're making, and this is how we're doing it. Aside from the high school completion and the early childhood education and development that Terra provides parents, we also support them in the community through a home visitation program, through parenting group programming. And recently, because we were able to acquire a new building that we are still fundraising for, we have added new services and programs.
That's exciting.
It is very exciting, and it is really, really timely, because what is something that we're hearing now more and more with rising prices and inflation. It's the inability to afford essentials.
Exactly.
And food security has become a huge issue for all Canadians across the board. Can you imagine now young families already struggling with several issues, now trying to provide for themselves, their children, food at these
Food has
incredible
gone
prices.
up, and
Yeah, it's quite something. And so we're very proud that our new building in the community of Grosvenor has a collective kitchen
oh, good.
and a pantry that is in partnership with the Edmonton Food Bank, so that we can offer classes and sessions where families can come and learn to cook nutritious, healthy meals on a budget and take essentials home. Additionally, and this has been a wonderful community initiative, we give teen parents, pregnant and parenting teens, and their children access to essential clothing, winter clothes, boots, diapers, and hygiene products. Diapers and hygiene products are incredibly pricey.
So expensive.
And we're so proud of our community because they donate so many diapers and hygiene products, and they don't go bad, and we never not need them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think in 2022, the community donated 38,000 diapers.
Wow.
$10,000 worth of diapers, and every last one of them was taken.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a wonderful thing that the community does, and we're able to give that back to teen parents. And another wonderful thing that the community does is they volunteer their time. The entire clothes closet, which is the lovely space in our new building where we have the diapers and the clothing, is completely 100% run by volunteers.
Okay.
And so the community supports teen parents with these items, and the community supports it by cleaning them, organizing them, displaying them, making sure that it is well stocked,
right?
Which is a fantastic service. And lastly, we also offer housing support.
I was going to ask that, yes, about housing.
Because that's a huge issue too. And it's not every teen parent that needs it, or every teen parent that it's a good idea for them to have this. But for those that qualify and for those that need it, we have a partnership with the Brentwood Development Group, and we offer families the opportunity to be in very suitable townhomes. And our workers work with them on things like how to become a great tenant, how to budget so that you can make your rent on time, how to keep a clean and tidy home. And so we support our families in the community and in the housing program with tools and resources for them to really understand how to become families in the community in these homes. So there's so much going on at Terra, and no two participants receive the same services because it's
so individual.
It's individual to everyone's need, and everyone comes with a need. And I did not mention, and I know you and I wanted to really talk about this, is the mental health services aspect of it.
Yes.
This is it. As it has become, and as our society has become more aware of our need for mental health services, Terra does now have and provides mental health services for participants. What started off 6 years ago with a half-time mental health therapist is now 3 full-time mental health therapists.
Wow.
And that is a combination of government funding as well as private donor funding.
Right. So that's, again, the importance of looking at an organization like this and contributing in some way.
Absolutely.
The difference that you can make.
Absolutely. Because these services are not just for the moms, the dads, but the children as well.
Yes.
And the wonderful thing is we also have access to a youth psychiatrist.
Oh, okay.
Which is a great service too, and very beneficial because our youth psychiatrist works hand in hand with our therapists, and together they can craft individualized plans
Okay.
for participants.
Can I just interrupt you for 1
yeah.
sec? Okay. So somebody, a young girl comes in, she finds out she's expecting and
Yes.
scared out of her mind.
Yes.
And just unsure, doesn't maybe have the support of family, or she does have the support of family. It could be any, but how do they find out about you? Like, is there an outreach available now because I know when I was 17 when I had my son,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no, like you kind of had to do all your own research and figure out, is there any kind of service that's like, I don't even know if I'm making sense
You
here,
are
but
making sense.
where,
Yeah. So
yeah.
how do people find out about Terra
Yeah.
when they need Terra?
Yeah.
We're very fortunate nowadays that the school systems, both the Catholic board and the public board, have social workers
Okay.
that connect to Terra. We are also a family resource network. We're part of the FRN community. And so other agencies and other community groups and organizations also know about Terra. We're part of that. And lastly, the social workers at hospitals, because when you're giving birth to your child, and there are inevitably questions about, who's here to support you, and do you have your car seat to take baby home? And so social workers are able to also connect with Terra. And the initial point of contact is our starting point program, our intake program, where we discover with the participant, what is it that you need support with? And do you have goals that you want to reach? And then we are able to connect them with a worker, their own social worker or youth worker or caseworker, as the case may be.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and that alone, I think, just having that proactiveness towards it,
Yes.
The fact that you bring it to their attention right from birth,
Yes.
it can really help with the mental health side of things, that you're not completely alone.
Yes.
And not just for the young parent, but for the parents of the teen.
Yes, exactly.
Right? What kind of support is available to the grandparents?
Well, they are able to come and attend groups.
Okay.
So cooking classes, they can come and attend. Parenting group programs, they can come and attend. Family night. We have a family night where we do movies and popcorn, or we play games, or we do art projects, just things that we can do together. And then we have a dad's night and a mom's night.
Oh, good.
We alternate. So, and we provide all the respite child minding so that the parents can focus on connecting with one another and talking and just having a good time and building that community. Because, like I mentioned before, the social stigma around teen parenthood is still quite strong in the community.
Yep.
And so having the support, again, and knowing you are not alone.
Yes.
Is really important.
Yes.
So the grandparents are able to participate in those as well.
Right. And because it can be also very isolating for the grandparents. I mean,
yes.
Like you said, the social stigma of it, your daughter, your son got,
yes,
exactly. Who do you talk to about it? Do your friends,
right.
Are they going to relate? Are they going to, so,
definitely.
To realize that again, ending the stigma to so many things that people aren't, willing to change their minds on.
That's right.
That's why I think these conversations are so important.
Yeah.
I love that. And the fact that, so all, like the young teens too, they're the community that they must build within each other.
Yes, we recently had a get together in the fall of 2023 for alumni.
Okay.
And it was really interesting for alumni participants at Terra to come, and we had a wide variety of ages. We had alumni from the 90s, we had a couple from the 80s, and then we had some more recent alumni from the 2000s, etc.
Yeah.
And some of them have adult children who are married. Some of them, their children are in high school now, or some of them are their children are professionals.
Yeah.
Unmarried professionals, and it's just really neat to see. And hear the stories of alumni that share what Terra meant to them and the community, the not feeling alone, the feeling like they had a support, feeling like they could take on the hard things because they knew they acquired coping skills,
Right.
and resilience. They were taught resilience by being part of Terra.
Mhm.
So those are the cool things that we get to hear. And what I love to tell donors when they give to Terra is, know that your donation is making a difference that you may not be able to see for 10 years.
Right.
Because we're talking about human lives.
Yeah.
And you're talking about turning around some really deep-seated, problematic, hurtful, painful, difficult things.
Mhm.
And that takes time.
Oh, absolutely.
It just takes time. And
Yeah.
so I tell donors who want to see the impact, and the impact is there, but we will not see it for some years down the road.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And,
Yeah.
you look at, just a regular person having a baby at whatever their normal age is, like
Right.
whatever normal
Exactly.
is, and the challenges they face, let alone somebody that still hasn't grown up and they're still kids themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
That we do a lot of work with brain development,
Oh,
because
okay.
our
Which is that new? Because I would think just because they've started to really see like how mature is your brain at this age, and
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And our staff members, our program staff members that work directly with participants, have this training.
Okay.
Because it's unfair to expect a 16, an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old to who is not fully developed until 24, to know and understand and be able to grasp these concepts and this experience. They themselves, as you mentioned, are also developing. And I think you may have asked me and I didn't quite answer the ages of our Terra participants, usually 16 to 24.
Right. Okay.
However, we are able to work with them earlier and work with them later by connecting them to resources that they would be able to rely on.
Right.
But we usually work with 16 to 24.
Okay. And is it something, like you said, you have the alumni, is it something that they can always go back to and use as a resource?
It really depends on what stage in life.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an alumnus from the 70s.
Right. Well, they probably won't need it anymore.
And will, one day become a great grandma.
Right.
So it just really depends on what it
but
is.
But I guess people that have even just recently, say they're 24, they've graduated and it's time to move forward. Is there that support as they leave?
Certainly. Through group programming,
okay,
all are welcome. And as a family resource network member, and as an agency in the city of Edmonton, we do offer the community the opportunity to take advantage of some of the programs and services that we offer. So yes, should a Terra alum want to reconnect to get support, they can do so. We don't have a formal program for it yet, but it's on a case-by-case basis. The cool thing about our mental health therapists is that they meet participants where they are.
Right.
So they offer therapy through text,
okay,
or phone call, or video call, or in person, or they'll do a home visit, or participants will meet at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Whatever is most conducive to their healing, feeling connected, and building that relationship out is the way that our mental health therapists work.
That's so great.
Well,
it is.
You're working again with an age group that with very particular set of needs and experiences.
Yeah.
So you have to be flexible. And that's one thing that I was also very attracted to Terra about, is the way in which it meets the ever changing and complex needs of young families.
Yeah.
Because it changes all the time.
Constantly, yeah.
COVID sped that up.
How was it during COVID for the girls?
It's very hard. School closed. There was no early childhood education support, which is at school. access to meals, because at Braemar School, lunch is provided. At group programming, hot meals are provided.
Babysitting.
Yes.
Or childcare,
childminding. Every event, every group or get together we always provide a meal, because food security is an issue that participants face at all times. And so the lack of these supports was terrible. And we learned, our statistics show, all the information shows that folks who had many social challenges before COVID, it exacerbated it.
Oh, so much
more.
Yeah.
And we just saw, yes, we were all in the same predicament, but we were certainly not all in the same boat.
No, we all have different circumstances.
Because some of us fared fairly well,
yep.
and others, we saw that the rise in instability and crisis on all levels. It was problematic. It was huge.
Yeah.
And so Terra participants fared the same. We did what we could.
Yep.
Via phone, via porch, meeting on porches and outside when the weather permitted, taking hampers full of essentials, delivering them. We did what we could, just like every other agency and every other organization did what they could. But it was hard.
It was a tough time.
Very, very hard.
And we're still, I don't know, I think we're still seeing the impact, I think, that time has had. And it's
going to be
a while.
It's going to be many years for people to, and I don't know if anyone's going to I don't know if the community members that we work with that come to Terra seeking support, I don't know how long it's going to take to get ahead, because it feels like the world is forgetting this important part of our community.
Right.
Especially with the economic crisis and the inflation and everything. It's just, when do you catch up?
Yeah.
It worries us.
Yeah, it's a scary time right now. And again, just for parents that have chosen to have kids at a certain point, it's still like you still come up against your challenges and costs of living, and it's unreal right now. And I would think that these girls unfortunately fall through the cracks.
Yeah, the young families have an already difficult uphill battle with a lot of a variety of complex issues, but COVID did certainly it did a number.
Yeah, it did.
A number,
yeah,
that's for sure.
So I've decided to add a new segment into the Carry On with Carrie podcast. I'm a huge supporter of small business, and not just in my own local area of the Edmonton, Alberta area, but throughout Canada. It's so easy to get online now and support local in all of our regions. Somebody that I was lucky enough to come across on my Instagram, I would love to have all of you guys know about a company called Bloom and Bliss. They were established 2023. The owner is Julia. She is the mama of 2 little boys and an HG survivor, and the founder of Bloom and Bliss. As a new mother navigating pregnancy and postpartum during the start of the pandemic in 2020, she realized that the sense of community and support that she had always imagined was lacking. It was during this time that the seeds of Bloom and Bliss were planted. It's inspired by the belief that every mother deserves to feel cherished and supported during this beautiful journey. They've created unique gift boxes for mothers and mothers-to-be. Bloom and Bliss boxes contain a collection of items created by Ontario artisans. These special items are all created by Ontario mothers who pour their passion into their creations. Every item in a Bloom and Bliss box holds a story of its own, the incredible strength, resilience, and beauty of motherhood for mothers everywhere. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate episode for this one to have aligned with. Follow Bloom and Bliss on Instagram, the handle bloom.bliss.box. Check them out and give them a follow. They're in Uxbridge, Ontario. How is it with teenage teenagers, social media, the way that impacts our lives now. And yeah, you kind of made it interesting. We were talking kind of a little bit briefly about what I'd be surprised to hear about that.
Yes. So during COVID, a good portion of our community, us, all of us, a good portion of us were able to connect with family members in other ways through Zoom, through video calls, and we were able to um, alleviate our boredom with a little bit of, watching TikToks and all these things. But participants who are at Terra don't have that because they rely on Wi-Fi to access social media. And almost all of them do not have internet accessibility at home. And so they are a little social media illiterate, more so than other teens that have access to Wi-Fi because they have, Wi-Fi at home, which surprised me.
Yeah.
I thought that they would be very, we can send attachments or we can send links but it proved to be difficult. It was a challenge for social workers, caseworkers to connect in that way during COVID. So yeah, it was a very interesting learning for us. Something that many people take for granted. But if you don't have Wi-Fi at home, how are you going to access this platform?
Right, and the isolation that comes with that, and that alone just
hugely. So isolation on top of isolation.
Yeah,
hugely.
Yeah. Was there a need for more mental health services during that time? Like, do you think that it kind of ramped up around that time that you needed? Like, we kind of briefly discussed that already, but
well, at the time we did not have 3 full-time therapists.
It wasn't then, so it slowly evolved after that.
We just hired a third in mental health because of a wonderful donor.
Yeah.
Who came forward and said, I'm very passionate about this and I know that this is a huge need, so I would really like to participate in this way.
Yeah.
But when government makes decisions as to funding, they look at the entire community and they say, this is the amount of funding we have, and so we will disperse it accordingly. And sometimes it's not enough to meet the needs. And that's where fundraising, philanthropy, community involvement is key, right? And then, like we said, no agency, no nonprofit organization can solve these problems alone. And that is where the community can play a role in helping us fund more support services than we are able to acquire through government funding.
Right. So, and you mentioned the housing as well. So housing, it's through Brentwood Housing.
Correct.
You said, is that kind of
group.
Is it like a cooperative kind of living?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so they manage the properties. They do the upkeep and maintenance, and they manage the program. And then Terra works alongside them to help tenants, Terra tenants, to understand how to maintain good housing, good tenancy, paying rent on time, and budgeting and other things like that. But you're budgeting now as a family.
Exactly. This is a totally different
thing. It's a
thing.
completely different thing. You're not budgeting as a teen who's earning some money, saving it towards your car, or whatever, you want to go on a trip with your friends at the end of grade 12. No, this is budgeting for a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's different.
Very, very different. Yeah. So again, the importance of donation.
Yes.
The importance. How can a person get involved?
There are so many ways to get involved that are a donation of your resources, which is very important because, like I said, the role the community plays is by elevating the program so that we are able to go beyond what funding from the government provides, so that teen parents and their children not just survive, but thrive.
Yes.
And that is part of our mission, that teen parent families are thriving and they're enriching their community. And I would like to add to that by becoming involved with Terra, the community itself is enriched because there are some wonderful opportunities to come together, to volunteer, to donate, to do fundraisers, to do diaper drives, to cook a meal at Braemar School, to teach a cooking class at our new building in the community of Grosvenor, to work together with your colleagues at work to, if we're going to do a golf tournament, so let's pick Terra as our charity of choice and give the proceeds to them. Or let's a group of us get together and do some spring cleaning to turn over their clothes closet from winter clothes to summer clothes. There are just a myriad of opportunities. And there's a huge need for a sustainable source of revenue on a monthly basis. And that's why monthly donors are a huge part of the mix. At $20 a month, $50 a month, whatever it is that you are able to contribute, means that we know this money is going to come in this year, and we can then expand services. Perhaps it'll be 3.5 mental health therapists. Perhaps we're able to figure out more to expand our programs and services in other areas. But there are just so many things that you can do and ways that you can get involved. We have church groups, and we have ladies groups, and we have nurses from a variety of hospitals that are doing, because they see firsthand what's happening, and so they'll donate a wonderful amount of diapers. We have companies who choose us as their charity of choice, and they do some really cool and fun things together that are team building activities, but they also fundraise, and then they come and they take a tour, and then they give a nice check, or that they bring essential items, hygiene products. It is a wonderful thing to get involved, and it is a wonderful way to enrich your own life while supporting members of our community that really need us. Our young people really need us, and the children really need us. And there's just such a small window of time that you can change their lives. The first 6 years of their lives are crucial parts. And so now is the time to get involved so that you can have a lasting impact and turn the tide around in many people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, I don't think people really look at that part of it.
Yes.
Is, the impact this has on the babies. And I mean, they do in a judgmental way sometimes. I hate to say it.
Unfortunately, that's true.
But it is what it is, and if this is the circumstance, then we want to make sure it's done as lovingly and as soft landing as possible.
Yes.
Right?
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
And okay, so it kind of brings me to maybe just a little bit off of what we were talking about, but sex education within the school and for these young girls. They may have had a baby. Yes, they may have, but what is kind of like the protocol or the classes or the support that they get behind, birth control from that point, and, just any side of that.
Oh, no, for sure. We are very fortunate that Alberta Health Services has provided for Terra a nurse that does that work, meets with moms talking about healthy pregnancies, and we also talk about healthy sex and protected sex and options and education and the importance of that. And that is something that the participants also, who are in the peers educating peers, where they go to talk to other people in high school, they talk about that too.
Oh, good.
Right? The importance of knowing, the importance of decisions, the importance of owning and being responsible for yourself, your health, your body, and making wise decisions and making wise choices. So that is something that we do at Terra, respectfully, understanding that everybody is an individual with rights and decision-making power. And that's also something I really love about Terra is our mission is to empower teen parents to succeed. We don't tell them what to do. We empower them to feel like they can make decisions that are best for themselves and their children.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And teaching them to become these individuals that own their life and own their future.
Mm-hmm.
A future that they may have never been able to imagine they could have had.
Yeah.
But with the right support, with the right resources and the right information, they can make those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't tell you need to do this. Nope. We ask them, what do you want for your life?
Right.
For your child's life? And okay, let's see the steps that we can do to get there.
Right. That's the confidence building right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the resilience building.
Yes.
And resilience building is a huge part of the program at Terra. And that's one of the things the alumni are able to tell us. These skills, we were able to take and implement them in all aspects of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our jobs, our education, when choosing a partner, when making decisions about finances. All of these decisions come from this resilience building. I own my life. I have the ability to make decisions for my future.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I can go to this source of support to help me.
Right.
So many of the participants that come to Terra
mm-hmm.
are living in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And Terra helps teen parents and their children move from crisis to stability. It is not uncommon that participants have had challenging life experiences, struggling with addictions or mental health challenges. Many of them have been involved with children's services at some point in their lives, and many of them report experiencing abuse, neglect, or substance use by a parent or a family member when they come to the starting point intake program. So these are some of those complex social problems that participants face, and they are working through. And some of these are generational.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were talking about that and how this can end that, or at least
yes.
I get emotional over this. It's
know.
Yeah.
When someone says to you, "I am the first in my family
mm-hmm.
to graduate high school," or "I'm the first in my family to live on my own
mm-hmm.
in my own place," or my child is the first in the family to go to college, or it means something. It is something. And again, we may not see this for 10 years,
yep.
15 years, 20 years, but we're talking about human lives, changing a human's life.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen quickly. It's very complicated. There are many things stacked against some of our participants that they have to work through, and they amaze me.
Mm-hmm.
The bravery, the courage, the resilience, they are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They are amazing.
Yeah. And it's something that they don't see how, it's years later, you'll think back. I mean, I know even for myself, how did I get through that time?
Yes.
You just do. Somehow you have to, but it also has to be in a caring, as supportive an environment as possible, and how important that is.
Yeah. And the reality is Terra is that support for many of our participants, because they don't have natural supports in their lives.
So do you have a lot of like you mentioned alumni? Again, I'm going to go back to that, but do they come back and speak and
some do
add motivation and stuff to these girls?
Not in a formal program way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that we will get to the point where we can formalize that more.
Yeah.
But some have spoken. We have some videos on YouTube with some incredible stories. Many of our participant alumni have gone on to become educators, social workers, in the helping sector, because they received so much help from their social worker, from their teachers, that they have then decided, well, I'm going to go back and do this
mm-hmm.
with so that I can help pay forward and help others.
That's right.
One participant is currently a nurse.
Okay.
And she said to me at our alumni event, I do this because the nurse who helped me deliver my daughter was an angel. And I want to be that for other women and other youth delivering their babies, so they know they're not alone and that they can do this.
Yes.
So it's just incredible, the stories that come out of that.
Yeah. Well, and it's important for them, I think, to hear those stories and where they might have come from and started, right? Because they were all in that same place at one time.
Yeah.
And it's possible to do really cool things after, and to be a strong, independent person.
Absolutely.
Raising a family.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
It's extremely challenging. You're working with people, again, that their brain development is not there. They're not fully adult until they're 24.
Yeah.
But they're doing it.
Yeah.
And
I just love that. I love that that's an acknowledgement now. That we actually are aware of the fact that you're, I have kids. I have my oldest son is 32 and my twins are 21. And, I even have to remind myself, because they're both fairly mature for their age, but they're only 21. And you have to remind yourself, they're not quite
developed
there yet.
Yeah. 24 is usually around the time when they fully develop. Their brain fully develops.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love to hear that. They're not quite there yet.
Exactly.
But it's true. And you look back at yourself at that age and you think, geez, I thought I knew everything. And then,
I know.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering, on your website, there's a highlighted area about your intention statement.
Yes, that's right.
And what is that for Terra?
Yeah, so on our website, we have an intention statement that basically recognizes or says that Terra recognizes that we live in a society that is shaped by systemic systems of discrimination, and that those systems have had an impact on the community that we serve, and part of the community that seeks this kind of support. So we talk about the effects of colonialism, the effects of Canada's history with Indigenous people through the residential school system, through the 60s scoop, and through other ways that Canada has played a role in creating, unfortunately, generations of community members that are broken because of the broken families that our unfortunate history has created. And it's not in the past, because there continues to be discrimination, and Terra participants are not they experience it too, at school, when they go shopping, on the bus, when they are getting looked at for being young parents, in formal institutions in our community. So the reason why the intention statement is on the website is to educate and to recognize that there is a role that our society and our community and the way we have lived our lives has played in the lives of community members. And Terra's commitment to recognizing that, and Terra's commitment to respecting the diversity of its participants, respecting the way participants think, their cultural imprints, and how they show up, and working with them, because we are all different, and we all have different experiences, and we just want to make sure that we acknowledge that Canada has made some very poor choices, very unfortunate choices with some very tragic results.
Yes.
And so Terra is committed to working in a way that respects the diverse community that comes to it, to practice inclusion in everything that that it touches, the way we work with participants, the way we work together as staff members, the way we work with the community, the way we work with volunteers. That's our commitment,
right,
to the community. Yeah. So that's kind of what the intention statement's about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very important.
It
is.
To
just so people are, again, it's one of those things that people just don't. It's not a consideration.
It is very
oftentimes.
Important. Yes, yeah. And we have to understand that when we're dealing with community members who have experienced houselessness or home insecurity and poverty, that it doesn't happen in isolation and it doesn't happen in a vacuum. That it is a result of something deeper.
Yes.
And we have had a role to play. This is not to point fingers. This is not to set one cultural group against another.
Right.
This is just to recognize what has transpired, what continues to happen today, and to be responsible. Yes, maybe I didn't do this.
Can't keep sweeping it under the rug. It has to be dealt with.
Yes, I didn't do this. This happened in my grandparents' time.
Yeah.
However, I am here now, and I have a responsibility to recognize that it has happened. I have a responsibility to tell the truth, to respect the truth and the experiences, the lived experiences of community members, and to do my part in reconciliation.
Yes.
And so that is basically what our intention statement is about.
Okay.
So, yeah, I talked about one of the important services that Terra provides for the youth and the children that are part of Terra, and that is a clothes closet. And it's funny because it's called a closet, but it really isn't a closet.
Right.
It looks like a beautiful little retail space.
Oh, cool.
But the reason it's called a closet is in our old downtown walk-up building that just had a stairs up or stairs down and no lobby and no accessible elevator. It was a closet.
Right.
And
I like that
with tons of stuff shoved in there and rummaging and trying to find your size and your child's size. But now in our new building, the wonderful thing that we have this retail space and bags, moms and dads and children can shop with dignity.
Right.
And feel like they are getting new to them items that are in good condition, that have been laundered and set aside by fantastic volunteers, all volunteer run,
right,
and all donated by the community. And that's another way people can get involved.
Okay.
So
it's all the things. It's
all the things.
Doesn't matter what level.
And if anyone wants to know what we do accept, we have a list on our website, terracentre.ca.
Okay.
You can go to get involved. And so when you click that, it will tell you can donate items, and it will tell you a list of acceptable and unacceptable items. We can't accept, for example, cribs. We can't take used car seats, that kind of thing, and bumpers for cribs and things like that. But other than that, there's a nice long list of things that we do accept. Clothing for children specifically. We don't really need adult clothing because our youth prefer to get their own. But the two biggest things that we need and we never can keep on the shelf enough is diapers. And hygiene products.
Right.
Toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, soap,
feminine products for girls,
feminine products for women. All of it.
Right.
All of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
you mentioned the car seats. Is it something I know you can't have used, but you accept brand new? And is that something that
brand new in the box? And another thing that you can do is donate the $200 for the price of the car seat.
Okay.
And we will purchase it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
It is. We try to run an appeal for the community in the fall, and we did get one donation towards a car seat, but it is a high ticket item that our families can't afford.
No.
And they cannot depart the hospital without it.
That's right. No matter what, how you're getting home.
It is hugely important.
Yeah.
So car seats are a big ticket item that we need.
Right. So I ask all of my guests this.
Yeah.
What is the last best thing that you do every night before you go to bed?
I say goodnight to my house.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
My girlfriend taught me about this. She said she heard somewhere that you should say good morning to the house, greet it, thank it for taking care of all the things in it, the plants, the animals, the things that you need for your everyday life, and say goodnight to it, and that you're grateful that it was there to provide you comfort and warmth and coziness and a warm bed to sleep and wake up in.
Yeah.
So,
Very.
I started doing that this year.
I love it.
It's a mindset of gratitude, right?
Yes.
And contentment and recognizing what you have.
Yes.
And we take it for granted too often. So I say goodnight to my house.
Yeah. I think I might have to start doing that. Because it's true. Yeah. Like even I'm thinking about my puppies at home, and you leave the house, and it's a nice, you come home to it safe, and that's a blessing.
It is a blessing. It's a blessing, and we shouldn't take the wonderful things we have in our lives for granted. Yeah. And hopefully we will, it will fill us with gratitude and contentment, and we will then want to be that for our community members, our neighbors, and our community.
Yes. Yeah. And give. That's where again, it's all about mental health, and that alone, that being grateful and giving back.
Yes.
Giving back does so much.
Yes.
This has been such a wonderful interview. It's been so nice to meet you
Carrie.
Finally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me talk about Terra. It is a passion of mine. We do some important work, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yes.
I feel honored and privileged.
Yes.
So thank you for allowing me to speak about it.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to come and visit the center.
Yes. I'm excited for your tour. Well, hope that you will check us out online. We have a website, terracentre.ca. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as Terra Centre, at Terra Centre. And we hope that you will follow us and read some very cool stories about the programs and services we offer, and some impact stories of what participants are doing and how Terra helps them realize their own goals for themselves and for their children.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into tonight's episode. This was a special one for me. I really enjoyed speaking with Rhanda, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. It's definitely something to get involved with, and, give Terra Centre a follow on Instagram, and give their website a glance and just see where it is that you can give back. Please give me a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. I'm also, if you want to give me a follow on Instagram, at carryonwithcarrie_podcast and carryonwithcarrie podcast on Facebook. Let's make a difference and try to help just one more person at a time.